right now, your main job is with the director of off the court for the NBPA. How how do you prepare people to leave the NBA? And are they younger players? Are they older players? Mid-level players? I mean, what type of player are you typically working with?
So two parts to that. I'll answer the last part. So typically it's the older guys, as you hope that guys are able to have, everyone would love a 10-year, plus career. And so generally the target is guys that are older, guys that have been in the league maybe 7 to 10 years plus. But it's unfortunate that no one knows the exact date when they're going to retire. No one says, okay, I'm going to do X amount of years. I'm going to retire on May 20th, 2000, whatever, you know what I mean? So you try to build those relationships, even with the young guys, just so that you can build that rapport. So when they do officially or unofficially, announce their retirement, that relationship is already built in place. And so they feel comfortable coming to you. And the other part, the beginning part, I try to use myself. I use myself and my experiences that I've gone through, things that I've learned to help paint a picture, because it's unknown, it's unfamiliar territory in terms of the transition. Like everyone is going to be a retired player at some point, but no one knows when that is actually going to happen. And so again, I try to use the things that I've been through. We also use former players, connecting with them who've transitioned successfully. And then other guys that's a part of the transition, because there's a pre-transition, like while you're still planning and you're thinking about, oh man, my body's breaking down. You know what? I'm getting tired. I want to spend more time with the family. And then that's also the part where, you have stepped away from the game and you haven't announced your retirement, but no team is showing interest. So it's kind of, you're going through those different stages. And so again, I try to utilize myself and just being a voice and being a former player.
How hard is that? So you always, I mean, every sport has a player where it's like, yeah, they're an unrestricted free agent. They can sign with any team, but no team is really reaching out, or maybe they'll give them a practice or whatever, but they're not seriously contracting them yet. How hard mentally is that for a player to go through? That's got to be like roller coaster of emotions, no? Especially if you want to play.
Well, I mean, the transition is different, for different players. Everyone is going to affect, differently. Some players, maybe they got all that they could out the game. You know what I mean? Because it's two things.
Like LeBron.
He's done phenomenal, and being away, the only thing that he's mentioned that he wants to do that's on his bucket list is to play with his son Bronny, which I'm confident that will happen, and I look forward to seeing that happen. Because LeBron is an incredible player. His son Bronny, both of his boys, incredible players, and I definitely, can't wait to see Bronny on the stage with his dad as well. But for a lot of guys, it is challenging. You got to think about, you've been playing the game 5, 6, 7 years old. I mean, some guys been playing it 20 plus, almost 30 years. And then to step away from that. So for some, it's almost like a divorce, so to speak. Anyone that's ever been married, you know what I mean, and you divorce, there's some people that's going to celebrate the divorce. They're going to be like, oh man, this person or whatever, this relationship was so toxic. Now I'm going to celebrate that. And then for others, you know what I'm saying, it's the uncomfortable, like, oh, I invested all that time. You know what I mean?
Now what am I gonna do?
Yeah. So, but you can't get through it. It's steps, you know what I'm saying? Just like anything else, you know what I'm saying? That's a part of it. It's no different than growing pains when you're growing, and you know what I mean? Your body is, you're going through puberty, you know what I'm saying? Everything is a transition. It's the butterfly, you know what I mean? Caterpillar to a butterfly. So
How did you fall into the role of the director of off the court? How did that happen? Did a door just open for you, or is it right place, right time? Did you have to work your way up? I mean, explain a little bit how you found yourself in that role, because that is pretty intriguing.
yeah, so a little bit of the first two things that you mentioned. So previously, I wanted to go into coaching. Well, I thought that's what I wanted to do when I retired. And so I went back to my alma mater, Georgia Tech, and I spent 3 years there on coaching staff as a director of player personnel, basically working with the student athletes, making sure that they went to class, making sure that the alumni stayed engaged, with the program. And after 3 years, I said, you know what, I want to take a leap of faith, and I really wanted to tap into some of the incredible resources that the NBPA offers, and also wanted to look in, to see what the NBA offered as well. And so I was just staying connected, with opportunities, like reaching out literally like every other week. Hey, is there a job opening for anything? I can send my resume. And basically what happened was the previous director, had decided that he wanted to do something different. And so basically he stepped down. And so this position became available. And because I had stayed connected, with the NBPA and what job openings they had, I basically went through the whole interview process. And I'm not sure how many candidates they interviewed, but I was one of them, and everything else, is history.